Welcome to Vacation Station, hosted by Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazines.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to Big Blend Radio's Vacation Station Food, Wine, and Travel Show with Nancy and Lisa. You know, we're the crazy mother-daughter travel team, traveling full-time on our Love Your Park store, traveling across the country, and we also publish Big Blend magazines. And every second Tuesday and Friday on Big Blend Radio, the shows are dedicated to the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association, an incredible group. And on Tuesdays, we get to speak with representatives from different destinations across the country and around the world. And today we're going to Rogue Valley, which is in Southern Oregon. So think wine, wildflowers, hiking, beautiful scenery. And yeah, we're going to be driving through there and hopefully hanging out later this spring. So we're going to find out what to see and do in spring and summer. So we're welcoming Ashley Cates back on the show and introducing TJ Holmes. He is from, both of them are from Travel Medford, and the website to go to is travelmedford.org. So first, welcome back to the show, Ashley. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you so much, Lisa. It's so good to see you both.
Yeah, good to see you back again. I think it's been we've been doing this every year, right?
Yeah. Every year.
Yeah. And welcome, TJ. How are you doing?
Doing great, Lisa. Happy to be here. And thank you very much for this opportunity to be able to talk about our wonderful area in Medford and the Rogue Valley.
Yeah, this is great. I know this is the first time for you to come on our show, and you've moved up from Redding area in Northern California. So it's always good when someone moves into an area, they see it with a new, fresh pair of eyes. Are you enjoying it so far?
Oh, every second of it. My wife and I are really enjoying this area. Obviously Redding is not too far, 2.5 hours or so south, and we have tons of family in this area. I actually lived in this area as a kid about 25 years ago. So I know the area pretty well. I've experienced it as a resident and as a visitor for quite often and quite a bit. We used to travel up here almost every week or every month or so to visit family. So I know the area pretty well and love coming up here, and just very happy to be here now as a full-time resident.
Right on. And the location, I mean, it's close off of Interstate 5, right? Actually, I always like to get people to understand Southern Oregon, right over, you cross over from California, and so close to Eugene, right?
Yeah, we're right over the border. We're 20 minutes over the California border, right off the I-5, which is the major thoroughfare all the way up the West Coast. And we're just 2.5 hours south of Eugene. And we pretty much we're the regional hub for all of Southern Oregon. And we're the gateway to Critter Lake, which is obviously Oregon's only national park, which we see millions and millions of visitors for every year. And we love to be the launch pad to really explore everything that Southern Oregon has to offer.
I love following you on Instagram, and everyone, Travel Medford, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those places. But Ashley, you get around, girl. Like, look here, I'm at the beach. Look here, I'm drinking wine, and then look, she's drinking wine again. But it's
I do love to travel.
Like a traveler in your own area.
I'm in the right industry, that's for sure. I have a huge passion for travel and land stewardship and economic development and overall community betterment. So I really believe that travel does all of those elements. And so I love to travel my own backyard as well as explore others. But I feel pretty fortunate to live in Medford in the Rogue Valley because there's so much at our fingertips that I always tell my niece, she's 8, you can't be bored. You cannot be bored here. There's always something to do. We are a 4-season destination. And it's just, it's a paradise.
Nice. I heard that you also have redwoods near you. I know there's Redwood State Park and National Park over the border in California, but there's also like some redwoods in like the southern portion as well.
Yeah, we actually have quite a few redwoods here in the Rogue Valley. I actually used to have a 180-year-old redwood in the backyard of my family's vineyard farmhouse.
Dang.
And people would come and they were like, where did that come from? How is that here?
They're going to hug. They're going to hug that tree.
Yes, it would take 8 people to get around it in a hug.
Wow, that's amazing.
Nancy
cool.
and I we were in Oregon last year. We're excited to come back through. And we're going to have to do Crater Lake, Nancy. Because
have you guys not done Critter Lake?
No,
That-
we're behind.
Oh,
Very
TJ, we have to take them to Critter Lake.
Let's
We're
do
gonna
that.
have to. That's an absolute must. That's on our travel Medford bucket list. I
Yeah,
believe it's even
that's
at the top. I mean
that's
a,
number one.
Okay,
the
well, we
only,
need to
the
do
only
it.
national park, in Oregon, and it's right here in our backyard. And it's beautiful in the summer, in the spring, in the summer, and enjoyable in the winter with the snow. So that's a must. We got to take you up there.
Okay.
And it's only
a
50
deal.
miles north. So it's really
So-
not far. I mean, it's a very easy day trip from Medford. And there are some of the best waterfalls in the region on the way to Crater Lake, which you can easily, they're very short hikes. So you can easily tag those on to the day experience and get more of those Instagram photos
nice.
that everyone
Ooh.
wants.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
so
want
that's
those.
so
We want
cool.
waterfalls and wine.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
there you
wine. There's
go.
wine on the way to Crater Lake too. Or you could just buy some while you're there.
Oh,
See, there you go.
well, listen, we got our backpacks, our special wine backpacks that we're getting quite well known for. You don't tell the park rangers what we
Yeah.
do with our backpacks.
Is it the backpack or is it the purse with the spout?
Well, I have the
There's
purse and the
both.
backpack.
Okay.
I have both. Don't start the show and tell. I won't stop. 'Cause
Okay.
I feel like I made them, but I didn't. But speaking of wine, when we were in Oregon last year, I know we went through Willamette Valley a little bit, and everyone's like, "Of course, you have to have the Pinot Noir." What is the wine profile when you think of Rogue Valley? I know everyone talks about wine and cheese. Apparently, you got a lot of cheese too.
Well, we
what
have the
are we-
world's best cheese.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Rogue
Don't be
Creamery,
shy.
our local creamery here, received the accolade for world's best cheese in Italy. And it was
Wow.
the first time that a US creamery took that award, which is pretty exciting. And that's right
That's
here
amazing.
in town. And of course, we like to pair that cheese among many others with all of the wines that we do. And you know us, we're hot down here, as you can see in the photos behind all of us, this beautiful
She's
area.
like, we're hot, man. We're hot.
We get hot, and so our profile on our wines are big. We make 70 different varieties here. We grow and produce 70 different varieties here in the Rogue Valley. And for a long time, everyone wanted us to whittle that portfolio down, but we always approached it as, if everyone on your team is an MVP, you can't get rid of one. So they're all meddling. So we do 70, and
I
you're
think
always
that's
going to find
cool.
a bigger, bolder profile because we do get really warm and hot here.
I think you should keep them all.
Me too, girl. I mean, I have them all at the
Yeah.
house.
Right.
Okay, that's
I
it.
want
We're
to
moving
taste
in.
them all.
So no wonder, TJ, you're having such a good time.
Yeah,
Oh,
really.
yeah. Really enjoy. I mean, not only that, but our Medford, the Rogue Valley, is named the top 10 global wine destination by both Sunset Magazine and Forbes. So, when we have that kind of accolade and that kind of recognition, really hard to beat.
Yeah, so you're doing it right. Yeah.
And that reminds me, TJ, we just, I think it was last year, Northwest Travel and Life magazine named Medford one of 2 wine capitals of Oregon, which 10 years ago would never have happened. And so coming from the wine industry originally in my career, that was such an honor to finally really get a stake and a claim on the map as a wine region, the second and one of 2 wine regions in Oregon, obviously the other being the Willamette Valley. So
Well,
really
I think
exciting.
this is awesome, especially for travelers going up, from California, that they can, it's kind of this whole wine route. When you think about going from Southern California, you've got Temecula, you go Central California, you've got Lodi in that area, then you got Napa, Sonoma Valley, and then it's like, boom, here we are. Welcome to Oregon. Have a sip of this wine, and then go up to Willamette and Washington State. So, the Pacific Northwest and California and the West, that's it. Just go on a wine tour. I think
Wine and
that's what we're gonna
food.
do.
Or charcuterie, I should say. That's our main staple food here in Medford.
Oh, that's not, well,
Charcuterie.
spring is perfect because what's it like in spring and even early summer, going, because you're talking about hot and everything. I can imagine this would be one of the best times of year to sit outside at the winery and enjoy outdoors, wine tasting outside in nature.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can reference the photos behind us. That's a lot of what spring looks like here. Specifically TJ's photo. One of the biggest things we're known for here is outside of wine is pears. And you can see one of Harry and David's pear orchards behind TJ there, underneath our iconic Table Rock. And we have blossom in spring. So everything is blossoming, including the pear orchards and the apple orchards, all of our berry vineyards, etc. So you're going to get a lot of color, a lot of pop, a lot of beautiful wildflower expression. And the temperature is going to stay in the 70s, highs of 80s, which is really nice. Since when we do get into the summer months, we're pretty steady 90s. Which I love because we love water sports and we're surrounded by a ton of opportunity there as well. But yeah, spring, if you like to walk in the vineyards and be outside and really enjoy the day, spring is the time to come because it is just not only gorgeous, but so temperate. I mean, just the perfect weather.
Right now we're surrounded by ice. So Nancy and I are going, we want to go there now.
We're looking out at ice.
It's probably only going to be about 50 today. So
that sounds a lot better than what I'm looking at.
Yeah, we just made 20 degrees, so we're like, we're jonesing to come out your way.
It is quite the paradise.
One thing I heard too over our conversations over the years about Medford is that Medford not only is this outdoor destination with wine and cheese and fruits and all of these, and the Crater Lake, but also it's become a sports mecca, that this is a destination for different sports teams and athletic groups.
Yeah, and that's one of the key attractions in Medford, like you're saying. We have several tournaments, both traditional sports and non-traditional. So you can have mountain biking races and other tournaments like that, as well as baseball, softball, soccer. We have a couple of wonderful world-class facilities with lithium driveway fields. It's a great center spot out there in the southern end of Medford, and be able to have several baseball, softball fields, and then also, like I said, soccer and hold other like football fields as well down there. And then what's more exciting right now is coming on board in the next 18 months in fall of 2023 is our Rogue Credit Union Community Complex. It sounds like a mouthful, but it's coming across really well. We've nicknamed it, and they've nicknamed it Rogue X. It's a massive event center that's going to be coming in. There's 8 full-size basketball courts that can also be indoor, that can also be used for volleyball, shows as well. A full-size swimming pool, with 13 lanes going in there, but it's a 90,000 square foot event and convention space in there where those basketball courts are. And it's going to be top of the line. We've already heard a few cities kind of jealous about what our sports area is turning into here in Medford. It's really exciting to be seeing this coming in and having all these other events and extra events coming in too.
It sounds like a really, a quality of life destination, healthy. Of course, wine is healthy for us. So that's
right.
Yes.
Lots of antioxidants.
In the sports, what is your hotel situation like to accommodate all these teams and visitors?
Yeah, so we're just under 3,000 hotel rooms that are available on a nightly basis, and that's obviously not including Airbnbs, VRBOs, bed and breakfast. Those are just lodging facilities known as hotels. So we have plenty of room to be able to hold these tournaments, or if people want to come in and check out Prescott Park, which is a great place to go biking and hiking and everything else too, and which is right as Ashley's pointing out to Roxy Ann Peak and Prescott Park. She's pointing right there behind her. Wonderful views of the valley. I've been up there to on a hiking trail with my wife and my family, and it's impeccable views as well. So yeah, it's coming along really well. Just under 3,000 hotel rooms officially, but we do have one coming on board in April. The Compass House Margaritaville. This is something that we're really excited about.
Did you say Margaritaville?
Yes. We've let the cat out of the bag.
Hold the car over.
Yeah, it's going to be Oregon's first Margaritaville. It's Medford's first resort that's going to be coming in. So it's got that island theme, that island style, iconic, decoration and poolside, and it's coming along.
Cabanas, palm trees.
Perfect for summer, right?
Yeah, it's really exciting, and they're getting real close. I had the opportunity to tour the other day, and they're putting finishing touches in a lot of the areas, but it's going to be a really exciting addition to our lodging properties for Medford.
Oh, that's nice.
That's exciting. What is the bed and breakfast situation like? Do you have a lot of them? Because I know a lot of travelers like to have that real unique, kind of stay that's kind of more intimate. Especially I think single women traveling, they like to do that. And we're seeing we've done a lot of bed and breakfast over the couple years. I think over 30 B&Bs that we've stayed in. And we're seeing kind of a different, even for the innkeepers themselves, like a younger set of innkeepers maybe going from into their third or fourth career and doing it as a couple, going, hey, okay, we can work together. But we're also seeing like a newer generation of travelers and in the B&Bs looking for something unique and different. Is that the same kind of thing happening for your area?
I can speak to that a little bit and then toss it to TJ. I think, we're definitely not seeing a dip in our occupancy. So we're still very strong in our hotel occupancy. So we're definitely seeing a lot of visitors that are enjoying our hotel properties. But we do have some really beautiful historic B&Bs here in downtown Medford, and then on the outskirts, kind of right where you're seeing what's behind me, which is just up the hill in Medford. And those are just the most charming places. And not only that, you get to stay with the local who is going to give you a lot of that insight that you just can't get unless you're, know somebody here or friends with someone here or have family here. And I think that, people are looking for an experience and they really want to maximize every day and hour on their trip. So even if they are coming here for sports, which we do have a ton of families, which is awesome and we love it, they want to maximize their mornings and their evenings and their days off, even in their stay. So I think some of these B&Bs offer intimate settings that are more nestled into what we offer here. I know there's stays on farms that are popping up that people are really enjoying, and then that leans into the wellness side of things. And I think, like what you're saying, this kind of shift in tourism it's about experience, it's about slowing down, and it's about an energy and a vibe that we are really good at here in Medford and the Rogue Valley. And I always say, like, if I have to wait 1 minute at a stop sign, it's traffic and it's unacceptable. So it's, where most people have to be in traffic all the time. And we just have these big, beautiful, wide open spaces, low population, lots of greenery and opportunity. So I think that that's a big draw for people.
What we've seen in the B&B is a shift in the clientele, not only the ownership, but the clientele. And it's out with the dusty doilies. That's no more of that. And now we see people, every single B&B that we went to had a great display of brochures about their area. And they know their area. They've traveled through the area, they love their area, and they can't wait to tell you about it, which really helps the traveler. So, and it's different than when we went to B&Bs. I don't want to date us, but 20 years ago.
When I was 2 years old.
Yeah, right.
But it's changed, I think, because they're excited and they're traveling as well and really enjoying their entire experience of being, innkeepers. It's like having a concierge at your fingertips. Like they're sitting there like, hey, I'll call this person and get you in the winery. Normally they're closed and things like that. So that's really cool. And
it's TJ, like having a friend.
Having a friend. I was gonna say the same thing. It's like you have your own personal information specialist.
Exactly.
They're big ambassadors for the area. They know what to do. They know where to go. And like a lot of those two, some of them are even in historic parts of town. They have historic districts around them as well. So the locations for some of those, but having that information specialist and having someone that can almost answer questions and everything rather than relying on a website or an itinerary, which we do a great job of doing. And Ashley and our team, Sam and Emily and everyone else here too, is making sure that you have all the information that you need, but having that extra person, not necessarily having to go to our visitor center, but being at the B&B could be that big ambassador to help everyone out too.
Absolutely.
That's cool. I think also going to small towns, everyone seems to, it has that laid back, kind of vibe.
I was just going to say that, Lisa. Yeah.
I think so. I think when you're in those I think if the residents are happy in their community, it shines off and rubs off onto the visitors that come in. And from our experience, the smaller towns and that have a lot of space and have good wine really helps, but has that quality of life, then people are like, oh yeah, their park is right around the corner, or, go try this. This is my favorite restaurant. Or when you're there, say hi to so-and-so, you know what I mean? I think that kind of rubs off it. And it sounds like your area is like that.
It very much is. It's a first name basis in a lot of areas here. Like you said, walking into a restaurant or a store, et cetera. And I think that those innkeepers and those ambassadors are just a representation of the larger mass of people here. And I don't think that's just Medford. I think that's an Oregon thing. We're really nice. and I've heard that for years. Yeah, well, we're also drunk, so there's that. No, I'm just kidding. No, there's a lot of wine. No, I've heard that for years being in the wine industry, because the majority of our visitation does come up from California, and I heard over and over, it's just like, man, you guys are so nice. You're just so nice here.
That's awesome. Our time in Oregon, everyone has been absolutely so sweet and so nice. And even the visitors are nice. Like, even if you're like, we did the coastal area and everybody's like, oh, let's pull over and see this. Everyone was nice to each other. I think it's just, you got really good air. You got wonderful fresh air, but
they're having fun.
Yeah.
They want to share.
In a good spirit. So we're excited to be traveling up. I did want to ask TJ, can you give us some idea of what the events are like? I mean, I know everybody's had to shift and change over the last few years. Do you have any spring festivals or summer festivals coming up?
Yeah, Ashley even kind of touched on it when she was pointing out all the stuff behind me in the photo here in front of Table Rock. But because of all the pear blossom and a lot of the blossoming in this area, in April we actually have our Pear Blossom Festival. So that's one of our largest events of the entire year for Medford. And Ashley can even speak to a little bit more about some of the details about that. But I know I've even been as a child, when I was around here, and being in the Pear Blossom Festival, family that's running the Pear Blossom Run, so it's a big festival surrounded by one of our staples of what's helped grow Medford, and that's the agritourism industry, and that's pears, and among many other different things that we're growing here in the valley, and different crops too. So, and Ashley could probably even touch a little bit more on some of those, and maybe even the Oregon Wine Month in May too.
Yeah, we're in our, this is the 69th year for Pear Blossom Festival. So that festival originated in 1954, and annually has drawn thousands and thousands of people, upwards of 20 to 30,000 people for that weekend, because of all of the different elements that festival has, like teachers mentioning the marathon, there's a pageant, there's a scholarship, there's a parade, there's a street fair, there's a para fair, there's a lot of events within that event. So it's definitely a full weekend stay if you want to come and experience that. And then right on the back of that is May, which is Oregon Wine Month, which is really a month-long event to celebrate Oregon wine.
We're going to be in Oregon in May, Nancy. We will.
There you go.
And it's going to be on Mother's Day and your birthday, Nancy. So guess what we're doing? You got Oregon wine in your future, girl.
Yeah.
Alrighty, then I'm happy.
I love it. Yeah. So there's going to be lots of opportunity to experience, behind the curtain of the Oregon wine business here in Southern Oregon. And when and like we were saying earlier, when you have a friend here like me, we can take you in and there's barrel tours, there's, punch downs, there's racking, there's all sorts of really fun things that are happening that you can kind of get a close-up view on, which is a really interesting side of the industry. And we'll also be in bloom in the vineyard, so you can start to see the vintage realize.
That's exciting, because I think for visitors coming, they get to, especially with kids, getting to see where things come from, where they're growing. We're always, part of that agritourism with what we do in our magazines, because even some of the, the areas where kids are growing, they're growing up in an agricultural area, they still need to have the education of what's growing in their backyard, that it doesn't come just, it's not growing in the grocery store. That's not how it works. And to go out and have like that respect and understanding for how much goes into growing food and growing and fermenting grapes to make wonderful wine. And just as a wine drinker, you want to see that production process, and next time you take a sip of wine, you're like, this is liquid gold. Savor that moment, because I always say, once that bottle's gone, it'll never come back
Yep.
again the same way.
Mhm, that's right. Yeah, and I again, I think that speaks to, you know, who we are as a region and as a people. And I think land stewardship and sustainability are so important to us
Oh,
as a
yeah.
community, and taking care of our region for future generations. And we take that same kind of care in our other industries as well, dependent on what, you know, your passion or your lane is. But I think it's evident in our agritourism, and we have so many people coming to experience our agritourism, vineyards being, you know, primary, but there are a lot of other agritourism elements here in the valley that people come to experience, and they're getting that same experience with the farmer or the vintner or the grower, or the foreman that they're getting with the B&B keeper.
Nice.
And
Right.
so they're getting that passion is what really people are experiencing, and that deep dive and breadth and depth of what we're all about here. And I think people take away, you know, an intimate understanding of us and their visit, and then they want to share that.
Nice. Mhm.
Do you have farmers markets? and
Oh yeah.
places where
Oh girl, we
people
got
can buy
top
the
10 in the
try it?
nation.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Our Rogue Valley
Well done.
Growers and Crafters Market was named top 10, one of the top 10 growers and crafters markets in the nation by USA
Awesome.
Today. And it is a massive market that's outdoor half the year and indoor half the year. But it is a
Cool.
year-round market. But in
Oh, we want to
spring,
go.
you can come when it's outdoors at the Hawthorne Park in Medford, and it is a blast.
Oh, I
Nice.
want to go.
Cool. Yeah, we
Well,
want
And
to do that.
you need to come hungry because you'll want to eat
Okay.
everything.
That's not a problem.
A lot of food trucks.
You
Not a
have wine
problem.
at the market?
There's not wine at the market. There is cider at the market.
Oh,
Ooh.
now we
Yes.
talk. Oh, so
Ah.
what is that like? What about the brew scene? Because I know craft breweries are like really becoming a big deal across the country. Do you have breweries in your area?
Yeah, we have breweries, cideries, and spirits are all prominent here. We have about a dozen breweries that are craft breweries here in the valley, and then probably about 4 cideries now, which is becoming ever popular. And then we actually have a distillery here in Medford. I believe it's Immortal Spirits is what it's called. And
like
they
that. That's
received an
perfect.
accolade. Yeah, they received an accolade last year, and I'm going to forget exactly what it was, but it was like best whiskey or something. What do you remember, TJ?
I don't want to do the incorrect form of it, but it was something along those lines. I would hate to say.
Oh no, it was number 8. It was the eighth best distillery in the nation. That's what it
Wow.
was.
That's
So why don't
impressive.
we just do a show on all your accolades?
Right.
I know we've gotten a lot over the years, which
That's
is
well,
great.
Medford's a special place. We could go all day, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I
Woohoo.
love that. I love that. So bike riding too. I mean, it's just hiking, waterfalls, wine, beer, spirits, all
Nice.
kinds of basketball, tennis, farmers markets, festivals. I think with all the wine and all the food, we'll have to go jog. Well, I can't jog, but hiking,
Yes,
in Crater
hiking.
Lake sounds good. So a lot. Anything else people should know before we go on spring, summer in your destination? I mean,
Well, I think you hit it right there with spring
Yeah.
being in that temperate time to be outside, and our non-traditional sport is just growing. I mean, there's so much to do here in the outdoors that alongside hiking, but we have disc golf, we have paragliding, we have kites.
ooh,
People are really into kites here. We actually have a kite festival that's coming next weekend,
cool.
that's on a frozen lake.
Oh, wow.
So that's really fun too.
that's cool. I want to. You better Instagram that. I want to see
Yes,
that.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. I'm going.
Okay.
Yes. And then, rock climbing, and there really is everything. It's,
Oh.
I haven't found something that we don't have except
Yeah.
for citrus,
Yeah.
Oh.
because I am a farmer myself.
Yeah, and even then, we have other attractions in the area too, like zip lining that you can go and do too in the
Wow.
spring, and that's year round to do. And even pushing back, into summer, we have rafting. We have some wonderful
Fun.
some great rapids to be able to go down, and some slower parts as well. And so there's anything that you want for a hard outdoor adventure. It's a soft outdoor adventure, and nice hikes. You don't have to go to Crater Lake by itself to go hiking. We have, right behind me here is the Table Rocks. We have 2 Table Rock hikes there that you can check out, upper and lower. So wonderful views of the valley. There's just a really never ending of things to do around here.
And I have to share my favorite fun fact with Table Rock, because TJ mentioned Table Rock and I love the Table Rocks plateaus. And there's a flower that blooms at the top of Table Rock in the spring that is, and it's the only place in the world that flower is.
Wow. Cool.
And it's called the dwarf meadow foam.
Ah.
And it's the only place in the world that flower grows is on the top of Table Rock.
That is cool.
Wow.
I want to go. Let's
Yeah.
let's do it, Nancy. I'll bring the wine
Okay.
so we
All
can,
right.
you know, do a little toast. And that is my exercise, is lift the arm, swirl, lift the glass again, sip. Then you have to put it down. And then you have
you're
to lift the
speaking my
bottle.
language.
And that's
Mhm.
my heavy lifting, is lifting the bottle. And then it gets empty. And then you go, I might have to do that again. I'm getting so good at it.
Rep number 2.
I know, really. No, it sounds so beautiful.
Practice.
We're excited to go there. And I know, our audience, we actually have a lot of Oregonians. Am I saying that correctly?
Mhm.
That listen in. And that's another thing, is to, visit your backyard. I know this year, road trips are just going up and up and up. And you're so accessible off of off of I-5 that I think that's, you're definitely a destination for people. And I always say the interstates are great, but get the hell off of them. Get off and go to the small towns, go to these destinations, go for country drives. It's
Yes.
beautiful, and have that adventure. And it, definitely your location is perfect for everybody going on those trips. And even if they're doing the coast, you're not that far when people are doing the coastal route too. I know people
Absolutely.
following 101 or 1 on the way up Northern California and up the coast. What, a couple hours from the coast? Not
Yeah,
an
I
hour
was
and a
just
half?
there last weekend, 2.5 hours. And it's
Not bad,
quick,
see?
it's a beautiful drive. So the drive isn't even bad.
Cool.
But that's, why Medford is such a great base camp. It's a launch pad. I mean, you really can do and see everything in Southern Oregon from here in a short distance, especially for road trippers. And we also have the only airport in Southern Oregon.
Oh,
So if you
there
are
it is.
flying in, you'll fly into MFR.
That's it. That's it. And then just stay.
Yep.
Stay and
And then
play.
just stay and play.
Awesome. Well, everyone, you can go to the website travelmedford.org. It's an awesome website. Keep up with them on social media. They're always posting great, ideas and what's happening for events, all that good stuff. We also want to thank the International Food Wine Travel Writers Association. We love our second and Friday shows, all about travel. We talk with travel writers on Fridays, again, destinations on Tuesdays, always the second week of the month. And you can go to ifwtwa.org and keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. We air daily because we drink enough wine to be able to do it. So anyway, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks,
Thank you guys so much.